What's up guys, welcome back. So in this video, I'm going to be trying out a double dark line in the Open Ultra League. Now I've been trying out a lot of ABB lines in my previous few videos. I've tried out the double grass line, the double fire line, the double fighting line, etc. But honestly, this one is by far the strongest. And that's because of how amazing Weavile is as a closer as far as the Open Ultra League is concerned, right? It breaks apart the Giratina-Cresselia Core, but the unfortunate part about Weavile is that it's extremely glassy and also has quite a few weaknesses, which is why I'm going to be using Alolan Muk as a safe swap in this team comp to basically bait out their biggest dark type counter so that Weavile has a relatively clear path to sweep endgame, right? And another important observation about this team comp is that you want to run Waterfall on as the quick move on Gyarados, especially to provide neutral coverage against Charmers. Because if I was running Dragon Breath on Gyarados, then this entire team would kind of really struggle against Charmers, right? And also I'm running Outrage as the second charge move on Gyarados and not Crunch, and that's because I feel like Outrage would probably be better for this team comp, especially because I already have the Dark type coverage with both Alolan Muk and Weavile here. But like I said, some really exciting battles, so let's just get straight into it. So we have Gyarados into a Giratina Alter. Now this is not a great matchup now that we're running Waterfall. So I'm immediately going to switch into my Alolan Muk here. So yeah, I'm just going to switch into my Alolan Muk. It is a Shadow Claw Giratina, which is even better for Muk. And I'm expecting them to switch, and they make a switch into their Alolan Muk. Now this is fine. Typically in the mirror, you want to probably go for Sludge Wave because that's a little more energy efficient, even though both of them are neutral. Beg your pardon, both of them are resisted, but I'm just going to go for the Dark Pulse because I want to get off as many charge moves as possible. And for some reason, they end up shielding that, but they probably thought it was a Gunk Shot or something. But anyways, I'm just going to go for another Dark Pulse here. And then, yeah, just try and chip away at this Alolan Muk. And yeah, I'm not going to shield anything in this matchup. Like I said, typically you want to save as many shields for Weavile as possible because the fact that they brought out their Alolan Muk into my Alolan Muk tells me that they don't really have a solid counter for a dark type in the back, right? So this tells me that my Weavile could have a pretty clear path to sweep towards endgame here. So I'm just going to try and spam as many Dark Pulses as possible. And then I'm actually going to switch into my Gyarados here. So I'm going to soak up this move. It doesn't matter whatever it is. I'm hoping it's just a Dark Pulse and ends up being a Sludge Wave that does a lot of damage here. And then they make a switch into their Giratina and throw the Dragon Claw. Now this is absolutely fine. Dragon Claw is probably going to take out my Gyarados here. But again, we have so much loaded energy on Alolan Muk, right? I wasn't able to get off an Aqua Tail, which is fine because I'm going to be able to come in with my Alolan Muk and then go straight for the Dark Pulse here. It's obviously super effective because of the Ghost typing. And yeah, I should be able to get off another one here because yeah, Dragon Claw is going to do okay neutral damage. But then again, those Shadow Claws are resisted. If this was a Dragon Breath Giratina, it would be slightly tougher for Alolan Muk. But I'm just going to go for the Dark Pulse here. And this is definitely going to take out the Giratina Altered from this range. And I'm really hoping that whatever they have in the back is weak to Weavile, right? So let's see what they have in the back. They come in with Venusaur. It's also a Shadow Venusaur. So I'm actually going to stay in and then go for the Dark Pulse here. The reason I stay in is I want to get the shield out of this Venusaur. Because like I said, Weavile functions really well when shields are down. So Dark Pulse does get the shield. Immediately going to switch into my Weavile here. And then one Avalanche should pretty much take it out, right? So I'm going to shield this up. We still have 2 shields. And they have a lot of loaded energy right now. So I'm probably going to have to invest 2 shields in this matchup. So yeah, I'm just going to build up to an Avalanche here. I'm actually going to build up a little extra. So I'm going to shield this up as well because I'm expecting them to switch as well at some point. Frenzy Plant does come through, it's okay. And I'm going to overfarm quite a bit. And now they make a switch into their Alolan Muk and I'm going to go immediately for the Avalanche here. I actually built up to 2 Avalanches and I'm going to go back to back here. I knew that Alolan Muk wasn't close to a charge move because they just threw a Sludge Wave on my Gyarados. So I'm able to get off another Avalanche here and this is easily going to one-shot the Venusaur, right? Also, it's a Shadow Venusaur, so I mean, that just does so much damage there. It's one of the reasons why Weavile, like I said, is absolutely destructive as far as the Open Ultra League is concerned. I mean, it has such fantastic matchups. Even against something like Togekiss towards endgame, when shields are down, it can near one-shot a Togekiss, which is pretty crazy for a Dark-type Pokemon, right? But anyways, moving into the second battle here. We have Gyarados into an Umbreon. Also, this I think is a Best Buddy XL Umbreon if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if it's fully maxed out yet, but it's definitely XL and it's also Best Buddied right now. So obviously it's very bulky, so I'm not going to shield this. Foul Play is going to come through. Obviously Umbreon doesn't have a great attack stat as well. So it's not going to do that much damage. And these waterfalls are adding up a little bit. So I'm just going to build up to 2 Aqua Tails here. I'm definitely going to let it go through, right? I was actually trying to catch the Foul Play on my Alolan Muk, but yeah, I mean, it's one of those weird glitches, isn't it? The switch happens after you make the switch, but I mean, after the charge move comes through, beg your pardon. So I'm going to go for the Dark Pulse here. They come in with Swampert. So again, the thing about Alolan Muk is the safe swap is that Swampert is probably the biggest counter to it as far as the Open Ultra League is concerned. But even then, right, you're still going to be able to apply massive shield pressure onto the Swampert here because, yeah, I can get to this Dark Pulse before they can get to another Hydro Cannon, right? This is because we have the slight energy advantage. Of course, if they switch right away, then it becomes slightly tricky because Earthquake could one-shot an Alolan Muk. So we do get the shield with the Dark Pulse, which is fine. And then I'm going to let it go through. This Hydro Cannon is probably going to KO the Alolan Muk here, which is okay. Because I can just come in with my Gyarados and then go for the Aqua Tail here, right? Aqua Tail is probably going to come close to taking out the Swampert from this range. And yeah, almost takes it out. So I'm going to try and Waterfall down. But they make a switch back into their Umbreon here. So I'm going to go for the Aqua Tail here. So I'm actually going to stay in. And then I'm going to wait for them to throw, right? Because I don't want to bring in my Weavile against a loaded Umbreon. Yes, Weavile does pretty well against Umbreon because those dark type moves are resisted. But then again, Weavile is extremely glassy that you definitely don't want to be taking charge moves on it, right? So I'm going to let the foul play go through and then come in with my Weavile here. And like you see, they just overfarm quite a bit. And I know this is just a foul play, right? Because they blind through before even seeing what my Pokemon was. So I'm going to actually build up to an Avalanche and then go for it right away here because they are close to a foul play right now. And I don't want to invest any additional shields in this matchup or take another foul play. So Avalanche is definitely going to take out the Umbreon from this range. Expecting the Swampert to come back in. I'm going to try and snarl this Swampert down. I'm going to definitely have to shield this. The Swampert is loaded on energy right now. So yeah, it is a Hydro Cannon. And I'm really hoping that I can farm it down before they can get to another move, right? Unfortunately, we face a little bit of lag here. And the Hydro Cannon does come through. I'm hoping that I can farm it down. Luckily, we're able to farm it down. Let's see what they have in the bag. Yeah, there's so much lag. It's one of those games where we had a lot of lag. And they have a Cresselia in the back and this is GG's, right? All I have to do is basically land 2 foul plays here. Yes, they still have a shield. I need to get off 3 foul plays and we can get off 3 foul plays before they can get to 2 Moon Blasts, right? So the first foul play coming through. Let's see if this gets the shield from the Cresselia. They actually let that go through. That does about 50% of Cresselia's health. I mean, that is pretty ridiculous, right? I mean, Cresselia is probably the ultimate tank as far as the Open Ultra League is concerned. And which is why Weavile can function really well against it with an energy and shield advantage. Obviously, you don't want to be going up against it when shields are down because Moonblast would pretty much one-shot. But in this scenario, we had a lot of energy lead. And also the fact that we were on even shields there, we pretty much had that for the most part. So moving into the next battle here. I think this is like the 3rd battle of the set. So we have Gyarados into an Abomasnow here. So this is actually a pretty tough matchup on the lead. So I'm really going to switch into my Alolan Muk here. And they come in with Swampert. So again, this is fine, right? Once again, they were slightly slow to switch, which is why I'm going to be able to get to 2 Dark Pulses before they can get to 2 Hydro Cannons, right? So I'm actually going to let it go through. Most Swamperts typically tend to go straight Hydro Cannon, especially in the 2 shield situation. And we can definitely survive a Hydro Cannon here. And I'm really hoping that I can get to a Dark Pulse. And I'm able to get to a Dark Pulse just in time. This is almost for sure going to get the shield from the Swampert because it would take it out from this range if it goes unshielded. And it does get the shield, which is really good. And again, they're going to try and farm us down, but they decide to throw because we would have gone to a Dark Pulse, right? Charge Bomb coming through, it's going to be a Hydro Cannon, it is going to take out my Alolan Muk. And then obviously going to come back with Gyarados and try and Waterfall this Swampert down. I'm really hoping I can do it before they can get to another move. Luckily, we're able to do it. This is really good. And they come back with their Abomasnow, so I'm actually going to stay in and soak up all these charge moves, right? I don't want to bring my Weavile against a loaded Abomasnow. It is a Weather Ball, which is fine. And then, yeah, I'm going to actually now switch into my Weavile and then let's see what happens here. They are still staying in and they make a really nice switch into their armored Mewtwo to catch the Avalanche here. So, I mean, if I'd waited a little longer, I should have gone for foul play. But this is fantastic. We still have 2 shields. Those confusions are double resisted. Snarl is doing super effective damage as well. So I'm just going to go straight for the foul play, putting massive shield pressure onto this armored Mewtwo. And they let that go through and one-shots it right there. And this is perfect at this point because I'm actually going to shield this because I'm probably worried about an Energy Ball. Energy Ball would probably KO the Weavile from this range. Unfortunately, it's a Weather Ball shield bait. I'm going to try and build up to an Avalanche here. Now, this was too soon to be Energy Ball, right? Again, probably just going to be Weather Ball. This time, it's resisted because of the Ice typing. And then I'm going to try and build up to an Avalanche. Actually, build a little past the Avalanche and throw here. Now, this is going to do massive neutral damage to the Abomasnow because of the Ice Grass typing. And they let that go through as well, which is fantastic, right? And I'm going to basically soak it up because I can just come in with my Gyarados and farm down with Waterfall there. Even though Waterfall is resisted, this Abomasnow is extremely low that one Waterfall should pretty much take it out there. So surprisingly, let the Avalanche go through on the Abomasnow. And even more surprising that they let the foul play go through on the Armored Mewtwo, right? I mean, they probably were close to a Rock Slide or a Dynamic Punch or something. But even if they had shielded that, I could have overfarmed an energy and then probably won that game there. So like you can see, I mean, this team honestly has been working really well. So moving into the fourth battle here, we have Gyarados into a regular Mewtwo right now. So this is really good because my backline does really well against Mewtwo. So I'm going to try and switch into my Alolan Muk to catch the Side Strike. Unfortunately, I'm not able to get it in time. So I'm going to shield this up because Side Strike would do a lot of damage. Also, it's very interesting to see a regular Mewtwo in the Open Ultra League. But now I'm going to switch. Yeah, we get the switch in time this time, right? So yeah, Side Strike is single resisted because of the Dark Poison typing on Alolan Muk. And then they come in with their Zapdos. Now this is fine. This is perfect, right? I mean, honestly, Gyarados really struggles against Zapdos. It's a good thing that they actually brought out their Zapdos right now. So Drill Peck is going to come through, does quite a bit of neutral damage there. And I'm just going to go straight Dark Pulse here because most Zapdos tend to shield, right? Because it's extremely glassy. They do shield that, which is fine. And these Thunder Shocks are not doing much damage. So they're basically going to have to throw at some point, right? And they do decide to throw, which is fine. I'm going to let this go through. And then I'm probably going to be able to come in with my Weavile here. So yeah, I'm going to come in with my Gyarados and go for the Outrage. Even though Gyarados is such a poor matchup against Zapdos, they're probably not expecting this Outrage, right? It's exactly one of those reasons why you want to run Outrage. It's going to catch a lot of people off guard. And in near one-shots, the Zapdos there, which is fantastic. So I'm going to shield this up because Weavile, again, is extremely glassy. So Drill Peck is going to come through. I'm going to try and snarl this Zapdos down, which is fantastic. And then let's see what they have in the back. They come back with their armored Mewtwo. Now this tells me that, beg your pardon, their regular Mewtwo. So this tells me that whatever they have in the back is extremely weak to dark types as well. So I decided to throw anyways because I mean, they're probably very close to a charge move right now. And they have a Gengar in the back and this is GG's at this point, right? I'm going to go for the foul play here. This is almost for sure going to get the shield from the Gengar. And I'm really hoping that I can get to another foul play before they can get to a Sludge Bomb right now. So they do get to a charge move here. Now if this is Sludge Bomb, it would probably one-shot from this range. But ends up being a Shadow Ball, still does massive damage. But I'm immediately going to come in with my Gyarados and try and go for an Aqua Tail as soon as possible. Luckily, we're able to get to an Aqua Tail just in time here. And this is going to take out the Gengar there. So, I mean, honestly, yeah, that was the fact that... I mean, we kind of had the perfect hard counters for that team. I mean, you don't see too many regular Mewtwo's in Ultra League. But then again, Mewtwo is a box of tricks, right? You really don't know what it has. It has access to Thunderbolt, Focus Blast, etc. Which is why I don't want to take any chances with this team comp here. So, moving into the final battle here, I think we are 4-0 in the set right now. So... we have Gyarados into an Obstagoon here. So this is actually pretty good because the backline kind of struggles against Obstagoon. I mean, Alolan Muk has a okay matchup against it, but obviously I don't want my Weavile to go up against it, right? Weavile is double weak to fighting because of the Ice Dark typing. So I'm going to soak up this Night Slash here, and at this point I'm going to actually build up to 2 Aqua Tails and then go back to back here. Another charge move coming through. I'm absolutely going to let it go through. And then, yeah, we should be able to win 0 shield if I go back to back Aqua Tails here. So I'm going to build up to 2 Aqua Tails and go for the first one here. This is going to do about 20 to 25% of Obstagoon's health. It's going to do about 25%, which is pretty good. And then I'm able to get to another Aqua Tail here. Now this is either going to take out the Obstagoon or get their first shield. Let's see what they decide to do here. They do let that go through, which is fantastic. Because I'm actually going to come in with my Alolan Muk and farm down here. I'm actually going to switch out because I just want to preserve my Gyarados a little bit more. And they come in with Swampert, which is fine. Again, Alolan Muk with loaded energy can actually do decent against Swampert, right? Even though Swampert is a hard counter for Alolan Muk. As you can see, Dark Pulse still does quite a bit of damage there. And then Charge Boom coming through, I'm going to let it go through. I'm hoping this is just a Hydro Cannon. If it's Earthquake, it will one shot, it's just a Hydro Cannon, which is fantastic. Because I should be able to get to another Dark Pulse here. And then again, we're going to put massive shield pressure onto the Swampert, right? Because this is going to come close to taking it out if it goes unshielded. And they do shield that, which is fantastic. And they're probably going to overfarm on energy right now, which is unfortunate. But it's okay. I'm going to let it go through. And then, again, like I said, the strategy is to basically save 2 shields for Weavile here. So I'm going to come in with my Gyarados and soak up this move as well. Because I know the Swampert has a lot of loaded energy. And again, those Mud Shots are doing nothing. So they're going to have to throw a Charge Move in this matchup, right? Charge Move coming through. It's going to be a Hydro Cannon. I'm going to let it go through. And then it's basically up to Weavile to get rid of their backline here. So again, Weavile with 2 shields. Let's see what happens. And I'm gonna shield this up. Definitely gonna have to, because again, Hydro Cannon would do a lot of damage against Weavile. So yeah, I'm gonna build up a lot of extra energy here. Let's see what they decide to do once again. I'm gonna throw the Avalanche just before they can get to a Hydro Cannon here, because I want to force a CMP and make sure that they invest their shield as well. They give up a shield, which is fantastic, because at this point I can probably completely snarl farm this Swampert down, right? I'm going to shield this up as well. And then once again, Weavile with loaded energy can destroy most backlines here. They actually come in with Charizard now. This is very unfortunate because we're taking so much damage from Fire Spins. But then again, we are almost at 2 avalanches right now. So I'm going to go for the first one. It's going to do massive neutral damage because of the fire flying typing. And I'm able to get to another avalanche just in time here. And this is going to take out the Charizard from this range. I did not want to overfarm because they were very close to a Dragon Claw there. And then it's just a race to the Charge Bomb against the Swampert right now. Hopefully I can get to an avalanche. And I'm able to get to an avalanche just in time here. And this is going to take out the Swampert. Probably could have farmed it out with Snarl, but I didn't want to take any chances here because Swampert can get to Hydro Cannons very, very quickly, right? So as you can see there, I mean, this team honestly is like very, very strong. Obviously, these are still some mid 2300 range battles, but I'm pretty sure this team will have more play in the higher ranks as well. So anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.